trying to find a new place is always exciting, like stressful leaving the place, but getting a new place is like you start fresh, you start new, it's brand new, it's clean, For me, keep it clean. That's the best way to do it. But after like 3 years,
clean as you go is what I usually do. Just whatever you're doing, just keep cleaning as you go.
You're way better at it than I am. Go ahead.
Hey, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben in Kaohsiung.
I am Tim in Taichung.
And we're a couple of critters in Taiwan.
That's true.
Low energy today, Tim. I'm going to tell you. No. Feeling a little low energy today. Yeah, just dog days of summer, man, in the sweatbox down here. It's tough.
Yeah, it's got to be crazy.
It's 35 degrees every day. 100% humidity.
Computer at work was saying it was 39 at one point. And I was sitting there doing some work, and that's up north here. And at one point, it went from sunny to extreme UV. And it's like, just don't go outside. Like, fuck, man. What are we living in right now?
Dog days of summer. I'm telling you, man. It's. I take my dog out for a walk around noon. And after 5 minutes, she looks at me and goes, "Nope, I'm done."
She's got that brown fur too.
There's a little metaphorical tap out at some points. Just like, I'm done.
Might have to get her some little booties at some point, pavement.
I take her to the park that I take her to. I'm very conscious of that. Park that I take her to has lots of shade and grass, so good. I'm constantly going around. I do the ground check. I'm like, it's all right. It's fine. It's not too bad. Good. I'm careful about it.
Yeah, I trust you with that.
It's important stuff.
Of course.
Pro tip: take care of your dog's feet.
Yep. Don't forget about them.
Hey, tonight we're talking about episode number 28, the Deathwish Run.
The Deathwish Run. Okay, yeah. On the nose again.
on the nose again. A couple episodes in a row on the nose. Listen, I just want to, before we even start this little conversation we're gonna have, I gotta say that Nordverse, I love the Nordverse. The Nordverse is one of my favorite ads that they've been going into, this saga that's been going on for like 2 campaigns now. I'm loving it. This one was awful. It was, and I know it was intentionally bad, but it was like, when something is so bad that it's worse than it should be. This was that. It was it was cringy.
Like cringy bad. Oh no. Yeah. I don't quite remember it because I'm at the I saw it the first time on Friday and I haven't seen it twice.
It was the combination of Severance. They were doing the TV show on Apple Plus, blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah, I did notice that.
They were severing. Yeah, they're like ringing the bell and severing the. It was bad.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, whatever. That's an ad. And I just skipped past it. So I didn't cringe because I didn't understand what the fuck was going on.
But then the other thing, it was just really. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. It was. I really enjoy those Nordverse ads, and I didn't enjoy this one.
Well, good thing you don't have to ever watch it again. Yeah, that's up to you.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get any of the references. Nothing.
It's all good. So just a little bit of housekeeping stuff, I suppose. We're spoiling everything that's Critical Role related. They're off next week, and then they've got another week off, and then they're doing Four-Sided Die on the wrong week because of things. I didn't really understand any of that.
I think that's what they said, because they were like, we said it would be the first week, but things have changed, and we're busy, and we get it. Hey, take your time, do your thing.
All good, man, all good. And these past few episodes, there's been some revelations, which have been fun, which we'll get into shortly, I suppose.
Yeah. Turns out the last 30 minutes of this episode.
Right. Those last 43 minutes, eh? Woo.
Yeah. Well, that's on Twitch, and that's also includes the music shit at the end, and then also that whole talking.
Like 2 minutes of that, and then a couple of minutes of that. Yeah.
So it was like they ended 7 minutes in. So. So 43 minus 7. So, all right. Yeah, it's about 30. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
37 minutes.
Should we do some rollies?
Yeah, let's start off. If
I got some stuff
to
say.
Which I probably am.
Cool.
Especially with an 11. Of course I'm going to win this.
I got an 18.
Ah, for fucks.
Okay. So I'm just gonna start up with what I was sort of chatting with you a bit about earlier. This whole thing felt off. Not the whole thing, but okay. So this episode was kind of two parts, and 3/4 of it was the first part.
This and then this.
Yeah, exactly. So 3/4 plus of the episode, like 3.5 hours basically, was
A video game.
The race was a video game, right? Was the race,
Yep.
and I could tell this was going to be really hard as soon as they started into it. I'm like, oh shit. How are they gonna do? So Matt sort of mentioned at one point or another last episode that the race would take 15-20 minutes. That's roughly 150 to 200 rounds of combat. It's
Right.
kind of impossible to do. So I was kind of curious how they were going to do it. And first impressions, I didn't like it. I felt it was wibbly wobbly, wonky tonky. There was all kinds of stuff happening all over the place, and they were sort of pulling this and pulling that. And then I started to realize, I'm like, no, this is actually really good. I get it.
Classic green spoon.
Yeah. I'm like, my first impression, I don't like it. Then I was like, no, but wait a minute, I get it.
Here.
Grumpy old, get real serious grumpy old man. I'm one of them, Statler or Waldorf or both some days. But I sort of felt like Matt was trying to make this into a video game. Then he was trying to make it into D&D. Then he was trying to make it into this and trying to make it into that. And I felt like there was a lot of trying to cover all the bases and succeeding at most of them, but failing at a couple. Notably, like sort of dealing with, we can talk about it a little bit later, but the concentration checks and the magic and a lot of the stuff was sort of left at the wayside, and then other things came in later that then suddenly it was important, and it just felt like trying to please a lot of people and not doing particularly well at any of it. But then I sort of calmed down and I was like, no, this is a really good way to approach a very, very long. Yeah, this is a really good way to approach a very difficult situation. And I thought there's no way I could have done any better. So I think that, and I don't think most people could. So
you got to remember that sometimes.
Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. It's like you've kind of set yourself up for a really big challenge. And when it doesn't come out exactly perfect, it's nobody's fault, just the situation. So
yeah.
That's all. It's kind of I don't really have a point about that. More as just the feeling of that entire race felt difficult, really difficult.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Matthew, I felt.
Yeah, a lot, man, and it showed. I right off so the first hour, 45 minutes or so of the show, the episode was them getting ready for the actual race to begin, setting up and doing this, and I just could feel it off Matt. Like he was a little twitchy, good energy, but a little bit distracted, a little bit off, almost distressed. And it's sort of, he was looking to the players a little bit too much to do something as opposed to directing the action at them. And I felt that the players were looking for him to direct the action and weren't sure how to do it. So there was kind of like this little, like a high school dance sort of mentality, boys on one side, the girls on the other, and both waiting for someone to make the first move.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Not my yes and, but like when Matthew's sitting there, he's like, we can go back like 2 hours. It's like, we can just talk about anything that you wanted to do beforehand. You could do any planning that you didn't have ready at this moment.
Yeah. And that's hella cool.
Because he's got this much prepared, whatever. And then if they had something else prepared that might change what he had in mind for the whole thing, go for it. Like, this is my story. This is our story. So go ahead. So I don't feel like Matthew was unprepared. I'm not gonna get into that. And I don't think that you're asserting that either.
No, I would never ever say that, because I think we've talked about this before, and he's never not prepared.
Right.
He's always got contingencies and contingencies and contingencies, and even if he runs out of, I think if he runs out of those, he just rolls with it. It's just go.
And he's good at it.
That's a problem.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I watched the fucking show instead of other shows.
Right.
And like, if the players, they come up with something, and as Matthew, as the DM, is like, you can. What does he say? You can certainly try.
You can certainly try.
And I think he said it a number of times. You know, it's like there's one way to find out. We can certainly try. You know, like that was like for the first hour and a half or whatever. Because I think I felt like Matthew was maybe a little nervous because he felt prepared, but also was like, well, I'm not on the same thread as you guys as far as maybe prep and all that shit.
It felt that way. It really sort of felt like there is a disjointed aspect of this episode. It felt like there was something off out of sync. That's the word I'm looking for. Slightly out of sync between the DM and the players at certain points. Not all the time, but at certain points, it sort of felt like, what okay, you're going to do that. Not that I don't know how to deal with it, but it's like, this is weird. I wasn't either expecting it, or this seems like not the right thing to do, and I don't want to tell you that. So I guess we're just going to roll with it. I mean, in all honesty, just on that point, there's no way they ever should have gotten away with putting FCG as the wheel. They shouldn't have got away with it. Sorry, I don't mean to. Am I stealing one of your thunder points?
Let's consider that my yes and, because I would say the exact same thing.
Go.
Because I have written here, no way, in all caps, FCG's wheel could handle this.
No way.
Because they're replacing a wheel that's bigger than FCG. They've been using this shit for ages, and like there's a reason that they have these. And then FCG with this tiny ass little thing.
Yeah.
Like if I was at that table, I'd be like, dude, just look at the wheel size. There's absolutely no way. And before that, they were talking about if you take out one of the front wheels, that could be death for people.
I know that was a big point. And then they seemed to be so excited about it that Matt got caught up in that sort of excitement, and that threw me off. I'm like, okay, there's something wrong here. Like they're not treating this properly. Like not that there's a way, because that's the wrong thing I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that they should do it only one way, because this is D&D. Let's face it. There's a virtually infinite number of ways to do things. Yeah. But there should have been more consequences for that action.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Like, we were sitting there and they're like, you want to become the front wheel.
Yeah.
They would not have made it that far.
At one point,
they would have made it very short distance, and FCG would have lost his fucking wheel. And he's just sitting there like, what did that shit they used to glue him to the fucking wheel well?
Tanglefoot bag.
There you go. Yeah. He would just like been in there, just like he could have still done the things, but if you lose that front wheel, like they would have lost. They
should have lost. Yeah, it should have ground to a halt and been done. And he should have like. And then there was.
If I was the DM,
right?
But I'm
then there's
not.
Another weird thing that it's like, okay, if the wheel gets damaged by the vehicle taking damage, then there's a chance that it will explode. That's sort of what the gist of what Matt was saying at the beginning or last episode. I don't remember. And then there's a point where Ashton was driving, I think, and he got rammed, and there was like, okay, the U takes some damage, and then the vehicle takes 10 points of damage. And then FCG is like, well, I'm part of the vehicle. Do I take damage? And Matt's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. So if the vehicle takes damage and you're part of the vehicle, is the damage split? I think even Marisha even says that at one point. She's like, so should you split the damage with? And they're just sort of like, I don't know. And I think Matt just sort of was like, I don't think he heard it. I don't think he even considered it. There was just a moment where I'm like, wait, this doesn't logically, mechanically, how do you even square that? Like where do you go there? Is he part of the vehicle now? So should he be taking vehicle damage? Should he be taking half the vehicle's damage?
Right.
If the vehicle's got, let's say, 50 hit points, well, FCG's got 70 hit points. So does that mean that the vehicle is now stronger? Or if FCG's only got 30 hit points, does that mean that the vehicle is weaker? There's so much wrong to deal with mechanically there that it just shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have pushed it, I think.
Yeah. And
maybe they should have. Maybe they did. Maybe that was the right thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, like earlier, it's like if I was the DM, that car or that vehicle would not have made it. Like even to the dark area where the switchback, it wouldn't have made it. The tire would have blown out. They would have been
sure.
And unless they replaced it right away, got FCG out of there and then replaced it, they're still way behind.
Yeah,
they would have to come up with something, and they definitely wouldn't have won if I was the DM. Yeah. But I'm not I've never DM'd before in my life.
I think I think it just should have been like, okay, no, you fucked up and you made a huge mistake, and then there's consequences for that, and blah blah blah.
I was kind of waiting for it. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. It's like, yeah, you guys made a decision and it fucked you up out of the race.
I'm just gonna throw this out there because I feel this is the right time for it. It was one of my points, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway because why the hell not?
This might be a short one, folks. Not a lot of points here.
Yeah. This was a long episode that was 2 parts. It was like two small parts.
Yeah, 3.5 hours and then 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. At the 3.5 hour mark, like I've got this on my last page here. 3.5 hours in, 3:26. When Laudna goes unconscious because of like just the what was that, the Kagnarok down in Kagnarok Kagaronk, the Kagaronk.
Oh, the thing down in the
dude, like what a fucking great mini that was. Did you zoom in on that thing on your little tiny little phone?
Pocket.
LED lights for eyes.
Oh, so I did see that for a moment.
Man. So neat. Really neat little mini. Props
every now and then I pull it out just to see what's going on.
Pretty sure it's WizKids that makes that. I didn't look it up, but if it's WizKids, well done, guys. That's awesome.
If we're wrong, get in touch.
Yeah. It seems like they've got Dwarven Forge. Dwarven Forge is out because the new camera is called WizKids Cam. So cool. I'm guessing Matt's getting a bunch of minis from WizKids, which is pretty awesome.
I hope Dwarven Forge isn't fucking done.
No. I'm sure they're still supplying all the stuff.
They must be doing great after the second campaign.
Sure. No, anyway, what I was going to say is at that point, I sort of, and then Laudna's like, okay, well, I'm going to get the FCG's like, I'll give you temporary hit points and I'll give you this and I'll do that. And nothing worked. And then there was like, okay, well, this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. I suddenly realized what another thing that was happening to me throughout this whole race. I feel like, and I could be wrong here, so check me on this one, but I feel like Matt is very, very, very reluctant to kill a player, kill a PC. PC. I really, really, really feel like he's reluctant to kill a character.
That was something that I didn't like at the end of the last episode because you know there's all this talk of all the dangers involved and like even in the race like people fucking died.
We talked about this last time and then it was like
these stakes are a little bit too high for how they're approaching it.
Yeah,
you know, they're approaching it like a video game where you can save and restart or whatever. It's like, dude, this is not that's not D&D.
Yeah. I feel like Vox Machina way back in campaign 1, they were the heroes and they were invincible. And yeah, they died, but they always found a way to come back. And the death was they were heroes. So they threw themselves in selflessly. And yeah, some of them had to get brought back from death. They were completely dead and they were brought back and there was consequences, i.e., Vex, but the Vax. But the whole idea, it'll never stop. It's just it's a vowel, man.
No one ever will. Even them, Jesus.
Sure, yeah. But campaign 2, I feel like not Matt. This is the wrong thing to say, but he's the DM. So yeah, ultimately it's him. I mean, even if it was Lorenzo, who cares? Lorenzo kills Molly, and the backlash from that was harsh. And I think,
but understandable.
No. But I mean from the community,
right?
Towards Matt, that how dare you kill beloved Molly? Like this is
I didn't feel that at all.
No, there was a lot of toxicity back then, man. There was when Molly died, people were fucking losing their minds and blaming Matt for these actions. When it
not
was
Ashley, but Matt.
It was also Taliesin too. Like Taliesin putting himself into the
Taliesin was the one to fucking blame, if anybody. Going to blood maledict? Like, exactly. I go unconscious. There you go. Yeah. Now you're dead. Sorry, man. You fucked up.
Yep. So, I mean, and Ashley puts him into that, or Keg puts him into that situation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, just because she chose to be frightened or whatever, it's like that is so secondary or tertiary. Like,
yeah. The backlash from the community of that was bad. And I feel like in a swing back, as the pendulum swings one way, the pendulum swings the other way, he's reluctant to go down that path again. So he's pulling punches. I wouldn't say he's so far as I ever say that he's fudging dice, but it feels like I'm going to do this instead of that. I'm going to go this way instead of that way. I feel like there's a bit of that going on right now, and not fudging dice rolls, but choosing to rule of cool it instead of actually using the proper mechanics with the like. Listen. I know I'm kind of ranting here a little bit, but there's something that really bugs me. FCG puts out those turtle shell spirit guardians. Fucking love it. Love the move. They
Shout
should have
out
been
Mario
doing
Kart. Yep.
they should have been doing damage to the vehicles. Anything that comes in the way there should have damage done to them. But he was ruling it that it was only to the driver or to the passengers or to any creature that comes in. But he said that the crawlers are constructs. They have ability scores. So therefore, and they can take damage.
He also
so
said that
guardians.
He also said they count as they can be targeted as creatures.
Right.
Yeah.
And so spirit guardians should have been doing damage to them. Now, it's fine. Rule that they don't. That's totally cool. I get it. Rule of cool. That's cool. That's fine. But it feels like you're pulling things to make sure that there isn't a death. And I'm not saying I want to see death. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't.
I kind of do, but
well, okay, sure. I kind of do too. Shh, don't tell anybody.
I think we've said it before. We're all right.
It's not that I want to see that. It's that I feel like it's
sometimes it feels like
it happens. It should happen in D&D every once in a while.
Sure,
there should be consequences.
Yeah. So I had that kind of issue going into this. I'm like, you're saying the consequences are this, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to make them that, you know?
Right. And listen, I had a lot of fun watching the first 3/4 of the episode. I really had a lot of fun. I was laughing at it and I was like, this is fun. This is neat to watch. And it's a long, wonky combat that is, you're doing this and you're modifying things and you're sort of saying, okay, well, I mean, Matt even says at one point, he's like, Matt says each round is more like a few moments in the middle of this, long stretches, quick little skirmishes, trying to dilate and stretch out time and do things like that. So I'm like, cool, this is neat. I like the idea. It's very cool. But at the same time, I feel like you're cheapening things just a wee bit. My take, my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I felt like I guess I'll cross that one out, but I don't think I have a ton more to say about that, but if I win this next Rolly, which of course I'm going to do, I have more to say about that.
Yeah, well, I hope you win this next one because I just said a lot. So I think I blasted out. I just blah.
Well, let's go ahead and let me roll this and win
6.
this one with a 14. All right, cool. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Good. I'm glad.
Sometimes the fates are in our, you know.
Yeah.
I feel with how many cars were there? 6?
Yep.
6 cars, right? And each one, they had 2 or 3.
There was everybody had 2 drivers. Two riders.
Except
for theirs, which they had the wheel as FCG, so they had 3.
Wait, I'm sorry. A driver and 2 riders
and a passenger. No, driver. Every car had 2.
Just 2, except for FCG in that one.
FCG.
And then Fern was off on the fucking thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Poor Fern. I mean, Ashley made her bed. And it's, hey, it doesn't work out or whatever. But just at the same time, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Also, yeah, I mean, in the last episode, Dusk/Erica was like, okay, so you'll be on the side doing sabotage. And then Ashley being Ashley, just non-PC, she would be like, oh, sure, you know.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just like accept whatever she just said because there's a plan being made. So she's, you know, as she says, like, give me a script, I will act the fuck out of it. But give me, you know, make me plan something, I'm going to fuck it up.
Yep.
You know, in her words, you know. So she was like, so you'll be this, you know. And she's like, sure, you know.
Of course
like,
I will. Of course I will.
Hey, you've got a brain. You got to, you know, you have input here. You're part of this group. She's a guest. Like, you know, you can speak up if you want to, but it's not really Ashley to do so. But the planning, that's a fucking side point. With the other cars, I know that Matthew had a fucking sheet for each person in these goddamn vehicles. You know, a whole sheet, classes, races, everything.
Always does.
Everything he will, of course. And then, like, those things, of course, are going to come out. Very similar to another point that I have here. Very few points on my page right here. They're all quite close to each other. Of course, Matthew's prepared for that stuff because, of course, they're going to be like, all right, well, Spirit Guardians, I didn't expect anybody to do that because I don't keep track of their spells. Neither really does Matt. He does a better job than I do. And then there's, you know, Charm Person. Isn't that a touch spell?
No.
It's not. So you can charm the other driver, and I think Imogen did that, and she said like break or something.
Command, not charm.
Command,
person.
right?
Command, right.
Command person.
Break.
And they did it, and it's like, hey, well done. You know, they just rolled shitty, and hey, that's a nice little shot there.
Yes.
But then everybody else in those other fucking vehicles, they also have their own abilities. I mean, they must, because I know, Matt, you're watching. I know this, that you have full sheets for these people and their spells and everything. That's why Marisha watched that movie by herself that night, because you were busy prepping for all these people in this fucking race. So I really do think that Matthew, the amount of planning that he had for it was fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
However, it still seemed to fucking lack a little bit.
So that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that was the feeling for the whole thing, and I don't know. I feel like he doesn't want to throw the kitchen sink at them. That I think just it was something we talked about. I think a couple of weeks ago. One cleric, no diamonds, no revivify. This is a problem, and I wonder if Matt's cognizant of that. And going, if they die, they die. And there's no way of coming back. And he doesn't want that to happen yet. But I think most of us do. I think.
I mean, of course, it's all speculation at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just, I don't know. And I got to remind myself, it's a game. You know? Let's have some fun.
Totally.
You know,
totally, and this is rule one. As long as everybody's having fun, you're playing D&D. It's great. You know, it's so at the end of the day, that's why I'm not mad at this. I'm just saying that I feel like, as a audience member, I feel like we're missing something, and I don't know what that is.
A little D&D / video game hybrid, you know, like maybe like Baldur's Gate or something, like, you know, like,
sure.
And some things didn't quite hit the mark, but you know, like you said before, thoroughly enjoyed the first 3.5 hours. Thoroughly. It was great. It was good TV. I had great walks listening to that shit. What was I gonna say? With the responsibility of the death or whatever, like with campaign 2, when Molly died, that was a legitimate death. It was a legitimate foe, a legitimate situation that happened. Taliesin fucked up on a decision, and he was like, dude, this is what he would do.
Yeah.
Everything was on point, you know? And then something like this little thing, maybe he doesn't want to kill somebody on something that's supposed to be just fucking off-road 64 or off-road or super off-road on the fucking NES, you know? I mean, like fucking Orem dies because of this.
Bike or
Be like,
whatever,
shit. Now, next episode, we got to get it when we're supposed to meet Mommy Fern, Birdie, but there's Orem's dead. Like, shit. Maybe we don't have time for a death right now because the next step is going to be kind of a big one.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's just that it just doesn't want to do it. Maybe they just don't want to play that game anymore. I don't know. It's
don't be so final about that. I hope that's not true.
Well, we'll see. I think a cynic would say the company is worth too much right now for them to be making mistakes like that. I'm a realist, thankfully, not a cynic. So I understand that there are pros and cons of both of those situations, and they are smart enough to work their way out of any situation, positive and or negative. So that's how I feel about it. But
yeah, that's one of those cases where realism really works out in the positive.
I'm just going to throw out my, if I may, my yes and for this. I thought it was really, really, really funny that Ashton made it such a huge big deal about going to All Minds Burn to get some help from them, and Jussie gave him those yellow banners to put on their cars, to mark their cars, and they never used them. So I really, really, really hope that it was All Minds Burn that threw the boulders at them, not knowing who was who. That was just my thought about that. I'm like, you were supposed to put yellow banners on your cars, and you never did.
Be sponsored.
And and then I hope it was All Minds Burn that threw the boulders, because I think that would be really funny. I mean,
Matt, we know you're watching. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's it just goes to show there was a lot of shit going on, and
there's a
none
lot
of them had
that's
complete
it.
control
So
over it.
that was kind of my point, is that there was a lot going on here. This was a really, really difficult race to deal with, from all sides, from the player's side and from the DM side. So there's a lot of I'm not going to say forgiveness, but a lot of acceptance that you guys made the best of a situation.
Yeah.
Rollies.
And still a great episode.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear for the fourth time.
17.
19.
Whoa, look at you.
Look at me taking it out of the...
All right.
Let's see. Not a whole lot going on here unless I want to get right over to the end there.
I mean, we can do that.
Yeah, I don't think I care about talking about this. I don't think I care about talking about... I'm going to bring it to the end here.
Go.
Yeah, those two, I really don't care about those.
Okay.
The one that I have here, it's kind of maybe a precursor to maybe a discussion of what happened at the end, if we have a discussion about it, is I didn't recognize Birdie's accent. Have we heard her speak before?
Yes. In a message that Imogen
right, because they contacted her and she responded, right? And then in this episode,
it
she
the same
had
accent.
this little... Was it the same?
Yep.
It seemed a lot more stark.
They were... Birdie was very hesitant. So that I was trying to figure that one out too. And my feeling is that Matt was playing her as like, who the fuck are you sending me a message? I don't know you. And so it was a little bit, the accent wasn't as prominent because there was more of a, I don't want to say too much because I don't know who you are.
In the beginning, but then when it was like, this is
maybe,
Fern,
maybe, that's right.
It seemed very much less, because like in this accent we got here, like there's a bit of a Southern in there, and very like kind of like Mara. I never know how to say her name. Moira. Like I felt like there was a hint of that in there, and I was like, that's fucking Birdie. I was thrown off, and I just listened to that 20 minutes ago. Nope, 40 minutes ago.
There you go. My quick take on it is that Matt just playing off of Fern, of Ashley's choice for an accent for Fern. That's sort of what I got.
Yeah, but Fern doesn't speak Southern.
Yeah, it's not Southern as much as it is just sort of a bell, like just a not a Southern bell, but just a bell of the ball, kind of a thing.
Like a Hell's Bell, perhaps, or a. That's not the name. Yeah, it threw me off a little bit. I don't know.
All right.
I was
all right.
Yeah, I was like, and as everybody says, like you look at the first episode of Campaign 2. And you see Sam just like doing the voice and an accent, and he eventually drops the accent. Like by episode 3, the accent's gone, but he has completely the voice gone. Still. Everybody says in the this is why I wish we had talks or more four-sided dives, because they talk about this shit all the time. It's like, yeah, sometimes it takes a couple of times to get the accent right. And but I don't really expect that from Matthew so much, especially with a character like her. I imagined he would have it fleshed out. So when I heard this accent, I was like, that does not seem the same. And when I hear it the first time again, I'll reevaluate.
Maybe it's worth going back to last 27 or 26. I don't think it was last one. I think it was 2 ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Shoot. Was either the last one or the one before, 26 or 27. Where they shoot her a message. Imogen shoots the message and is like, yeah,
it's gotta. It wasn't the last one, right?
I don't think so. I think it was 2 ago.
No, because the last one is like they're still biding their time until. So it's like 2 episodes or so. Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
If we're full of shit, get in touch. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that threw me off a little bit, that accent, but.
Yeah. Okay.
Curious about your thoughts on that one. But
I don't really have any. I felt like it was I didn't notice that much of a discrepancy. As I said, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting that they've gone that way or Matt's gone that way because I didn't think it was too big of a deal.
I think their meeting went about as accurately as it could.
Yeah.
It was like seeing each other and just being like, fuck, this is it? Like, this is it? Oh, man. You know, like,
I felt like
mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Oof. And then they brought up the 90 versus 6 years.
That was a fun thing.
That was the one that dropped my jaw a bit.
Yeah, that was a fun one because it's like 90 years, 6 years.
It's been like 6 years.
Yeah, it's been like 90 years.
Like for her, she's like 6 years. That's it. For Fern, it's been 90.
Yeah. Well, has it been?
Wow.
That's my thing. Has it been 90? Has it been 6?
Has Fern just been, you know?
Do fey creatures have any concept of time?
Maybe it's dog years or fawn years, you know? Like, what's 90 divided by 6? Like, fucking.
So, do they know what years are? Can they count them?
Birdie did say, it was like, she just tossed in there, I think, if I heard it right. She was like, well, time's always kind of difficult, but like 6 and 90, that's a big one, you know? To feel like it was only 6 years.
So my immediate take is that they have no idea what they're talking about. Now,
that's my take too. I mean,
they just don't know what 90 years is and what 6 years is. Like Fern thinks she's 180 years old, or 100 and whatever she is, but has no idea.
And she very well could be, and maybe she's working on like prime material years, and you know, Birdie's working on fey years. If there's a linear relationship there or not.
Sure. Or it's all just nonsense and they're just saying numbers because
I just don't know. Numbers. Yeah.
I have no idea either.
But to hear that difference and for Matt to just glaze over it with that comment that Birdie made, I was like, all right, well, let's just let that slide for now because more important shit is about to happen in the next moment.
Yep. Well, actually, the moment before that is the stuff that happens after that. Yeah,
right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back if you don't mind. The moment before that, where Chetney drops back to talk to Dusk and be like, hey, if you want some help getting rid of the Callaways, I'll give you a hand if you want. This was a tough one. We got to sort of have a little discussion about this because
you want to get Travis involved. I got his number.
I want to know. I want to know how much sitting beside Erica and watching her text Matt last episode played into, because he says at the end of the episode, I was over the weekend, I was just like, I wonder if she's hunting the Callaways. And he says that at the end of the episode to the cast, right? And they're like, after
the episode ends, yeah.
So the metagaming aspect of this is tough.
It's questionable.
It is. And it's like, okay, so I'm okay with it because you can sort of think of Chetney as being that character that would do that anyway.
Easily.
So if anybody gets
using
away
that as a
with
little veil.
Anybody get away with it, it's Travis using Chetney. Because I have a lot of trust in him. He would never. His last character was Ford. Well, his last character was technically Bertram Bell.
Bertram Bell.
But I mean, I wonder if Bertram would probably think that too. But Ford never would have. Ford would never think that would be a thing about that.
I would agree with that.
I trust Travis to make that distinction. I trust most of those people at that table at this point not to be making those metagaming mistakes anymore. Serious metagaming mistakes. Because I feel like both Liam and Laura and perhaps Taliesin all suspected that Dusk was not who she was saying she was. But they didn't let on. They didn't play. Travis was the only one that sort of went, yeah, I think my character is going to think this, so I'm going to do that.
I do trust Travis.
Yeah.
To not metagame too much, you know.
Yep. I trust all of them to not metagame too much. I feel like, but again, it's a tough one, right? Because is he playing the right way? It's tough. It's tough to know.
Yeah. I think he was, you know, and like when I heard him say it, and then like the look on Marisha's face from that point forward, she was just like, oh fuck. The whole time, just like eyebrows were in her hair, you know, like a cartoon character.
Right.
And you see Taliesin over there. He's like, I could see that being possible. You know,
Yep.
he's still saying like,
Yep.
yeah, this and this and this could all
And
be possible.
I think
but it's a
they
new
all sort
addition
of
to his reality now. There's this
Totally.
new option up there.
Totally.
But he played it very Ashton, you know.
and so did
I think
so did Liam. He
Yeah,
played it very
Liam, yeah.
Orem. It was good. So all around
he just sat there like this for a bit. Like,
yeah.
I think you might have a fucking point. Shit.
Yep.
And I bet Liam, this is all conjecture, but
all speculation,
I'd sit here
conjecture.
thinking that like Liam would be like, Travis, are you meta right now? Like, you know, but
You know,
I think they trust each other too.
The inner voice of Liam screaming, "You don't know that. You don't.
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
there. You don't know that."
Just
like that whole
Tamping it down. Or as Matt would say, getting a tampon.
There is a listen. I watched a lot of chat for this one.
What's
I
your
was
new
watching
favorite
a
thing, dude?
lot. With this one, I think in particular, it was I don't watch it. I watch these episodes twice. I do not watch chat at all during the first watch. I just enjoy
We usually
it.
watch these episodes at least once before we podcast.
Usually. That's generally our SOP.
I mean, how could you not? It's
The
absurd.
chat was screaming. The people were screaming metagaming, and then other people were going, "Shut up! They don't metagame. They're not metagaming. This is not." And then it got funny because then people are like, "He watched the last episode. He went back and watched it." And then other people are like,
Impossible.
It's pre-recorded, guys. You can't. It's pre-recorded. They couldn't have done that." And then other people were like, "But maybe this is the last one, so maybe they did." And blah blah. And so there's this whole big argument going on in chat. Which
No,
made
there's
me
one
laugh.
more, right?
No, that was the last one before the break.
I thought next week they're gonna have one more and then
No,
take
they're
a
off.
break.
They're off next week. Then they're
I
back.
got my weeks off. Fucking hell, I'm all confused and shit.
I
now.
know. I know.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's summer. It's tough, man. I don't think he was metagaming. I think that it was just a thought that just came into his mind, and I don't think it was an unreasonable thought. And I'd like to know how much of that him watching texting and dice rolling and stuff from the last episode was played into that. Because he was at the very end of it when Birdie arrives. He was
doing a lot of this. Just yeah,
his
he was
eyes
just doing
were
this the whole
big.
time.
Oh yeah, his eyes were big, and he was eyeballing Erica, watching, waiting to see what she's gonna do.
He's just doing this.
So there's and then chat got even funnier at that point. Chat got even like, "Oh, look at Travis mad dogging Erica. What's he gonna do? He's gonna jump in," and they're just throwing stuff out there. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is D&D."
And I believe Ashley at the end. She said, "I had no fucking clue. I didn't even suspect it for a moment." I believe Ashley wholeheartedly, completely, especially that interaction they had just beforehand, which was risky on Erica's side. Because we knew, but they don't. And then, if there's some meta going on, of course there's going to be people who are like,
You said, Tim, remember, you said like 5 minutes ago that Ashley's very, very good at reading scripts. So she's very good at reading the script. Oh, I had no idea, guys. I had no clue. As she's reading her script.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Jokes.
Brian Foster, thank you for sending us those scripts for Critical Roles Campaign 3.
The writers in the next room furiously creating the next episode.
Yeah, even after the episode's over, Ashley's just reading her scripts. I had no idea. I didn't even expect anything. Fuck, I was going to say something to that. Very risky move for Erica to bring it up.
Yeah.
Very choice move, in my opinion. Yep. Awesome move.
It's deceptive. It's deceptive as shit. It's really, really clever.
Yeah, but Marisha wasn't buying it. Marisha was still just sitting there like,
no. And neither was Travis.
And I don't think
they were all.
I think Taliesin. I think they were all at that point, except for Ashley, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. And I think Laura already knew. I think Laura already suspected. I think Marisha suspected. I think Laura more suspected. I think Liam suspected as well. And then this was just confirmation.
I don't think Marisha suspected.
I think she did.
After he said it, I think she did. Yeah. But then Laura and Travis, they talk. I'm sure they do. They have pillow talk.
Of course. The reactions weren't big enough for me to think that they didn't suspect. Only Ashley's was. So
you think about, back when Bertrand dies, and we're sitting there like, they knew, you look back through it and you're like, you watch them and like Bertrand's going out by himself and he takes a
Right.
piss by himself.
Okay.
And they're all sitting there like,
Right.
get like again,
I
Matt says,
remember.
getting their tampon, just keeping it low key. They all knew.
Okay.
This one felt different. I really felt like Marisha only had the idea after
Okay.
Travis said it. I feel like Laura had an idea, and I think Liam was sitting there and was like, "Oh fuck, I think Travis hit it on the head, but he kept it under wraps." And I think Taliesin did the same. And then I really think Ashley was just like, "Fuck that, no, hell no." Like she didn't even consider it. That's what I think. I think she had this connection with Dusk that I really don't think she considered it.
Oh, I remember what it was. That's right. Why I think that Liam was expecting it, because at one point Liam's like, I'm watching it. I'm going to find a place in the bar and I watch everybody's conversation. I read all their lips with the observant feet.
Yeah. Right
and
there at
and
the
then
end
I think Liam was just like, okay, I can put all of this together and I can, right, there it is. I get this.
Did Imogen hear Dusk talk to Fern?
No.
Because at one point she
No.
was like, I'd like to read her thoughts. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
We're like,
Yep.
this is kind of
Why are they not?
difficult. Yeah. Like, and
Why are they not
if
inside
she just opens
checking?
up a
Why
little
are
bit.
they
She's going to
not?
hear something like, no, I want to kill
This was
these
the
parents.
first time. This was another point that I had here.
This was again.
Right, this is again.
You can't get away from it.
It's just yeah, it's part of my vernacular now.
It's again now.
The whole idea that Imogen should have been able to figure this out a long time ago, or FCG for that matter, should have been able to figure this out a long time ago. But Erica, being such a good actor and being able to really pull off the dumb blonde cheerleader sort of stereotype that Dusk is.
Stacy. Is that what her name? Tracy? Stacy?
The Stacys. Yeah.
Stacy, right?
Yeah. You watch Solar Opposites? The other Rick and Morty?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not
yeah,
yet.
give it a go. They just dropped season 3. It's spectacular.
Season 3?
So,
Fuck.
Yeah. So
what platform?
Hulu.
Hulu. I don't fucking have
That's- which
Hulu.
is-
Who the fuck
which
has
is why.
Hulu?
We're in Asia, dude. We got
I gotta get
tons.
into VPN or something.
There you go. In Solar Opposites they're called the Stacys. The those ones. But anyway.
Was it you telling me about that show?
Probably.
Last week?
Yeah, probably. It's really good. I just finished season 3, so it was probably me.
Fuck, my weekend turned my whole this week into a blur, apparently.
The whole idea that they haven't been doing anything, and then when Laura or Imogen finally decides to, I'm going to detect thoughts. No, thoughts just slip right off. And I was like, right off the bat, I'm like, mind shielding. That's Ring of Mind Shielding. Classic. Like there's something blocking you, something. Matt's description was a little different. And then the first one. And then when she tries to do it again.
Yeah. There was, it seemed like he adjusted a little bit.
He adjusts, right? So he's like, there's no mind to grasp.
You got nothing. Yeah. You don't grasp a target or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, oh, that's different, but it's got to be Ring of Mind
It's not that there's no mind there. It's just that, there's, And it's like, woo, I mean, good catch, Matt. In the moment.
Yeah, because initially I was like, what? Oh, no, okay. It's just a different way of flavoring the idea. Yeah. So,
I mean, she clearly has a mind. That character clearly has a mind because they had that conversation with whoever that was.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just a husk.
The fun little Erica gremlin and Erica where she grabs the arms like dee 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 dee. I'm like, yeah, well played. Like really committing to that bit. Really committing. I stamp of approval on that one.
Yeah, well done on her part for sure.
Sure, I did. I did a little comparison of the characters. You wanted me to break them down for you?
No, I gotta go. Nah, go ahead.
While I'm thinking about that, this is another weird one. So when Imogen detects the thoughts again for the second time, when Dusk is sleeping, Dusk was playing an elf, which means they don't need sleep. They only meditate for like 2 hours a night or something.
Oh.
That's a class ability of elves in D&D. So I was like, well, is she actually sleeping and nobody realized? Everybody forgot that elves don't need sleep? Or did they just sort of gloss over that? I don't know. Like, for me, it would have been it should have been a red flag. You're like, yeah, wait a minute, they're asleep. Elves don't need sleep. Not an elf. But
didn't think of it.
oh, I did. I was like, wait, they're sleeping. Oh, they're an elf. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, okay, but they're changeling, so we know that. So would they still be sleeping? So I was like, I was sort of trying to figure out. I'm like, I have to go back and I'll have to read the changeling things because I don't think they take the class abilities of the race abilities of the new race.
It's always a tough one, like beast shape, polymorph, all these things. Like you maintain your acuity, but you have
only with beast shape, and that's all. But with polymorph, you take on their mental acuity.
Like true polymorph, they just become the fucking thing, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yep. So anyway, there's no name for this one, but the fun thing is that it was so Dusk is a level 6 warlock. Nope, Dusk is level 6 warlock.
Oh, warlock.
Yep.
But
with a strength of 11, intelligence 12, dex 15, wisdom 16, con 14, charisma 20.
Bro, that was a 6, not an 8. Where's my fucking phone? My phone's not here.
When they make the change, when Dusk becomes question
marks. Yeah.
It's level 8 warlock paladin.
Yeah,
warlock paladin multi-class, and the strength goes from all the other stats stay the same, but the strength goes from 11 to 19.
Ooh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, in the words of Matthew, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Listen, these
she's sitting there grabbing both hands of mom and daughter right now. Like that was the last thing that happened, and Matthew's be like, and that's where we're gonna stop it.
Yeah, these numbers are obscene. Strength 19, intelligence 12, dex 15, wisdom 16, con 14, charisma 20.
That's huge.
These are big numbers.
These are numbers that you have to run away from, kind of thing.
At level, and also they're at level 6, and
they're level 6. Yeah, she's level 8.
And they don't. It's not just her. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think they bamf the fuck out. I think Erica's a Dusk or whoever. This is not Dusk. It's something else. This character is going to banish.
Contacting.
This is banishing smite.
See, she may. It seemed. Again, I only saw it once, and I didn't do the Tucker thing to go back because we had to get this going. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yep.
It was like, and I'm gonna grab these two, and Matthew's like, and that's where we're gonna come up next time.
Well, there's a couple of interesting things that happen, right? They're all from the Fae. So banishing means they all go back to the Feywild.
Yeah.
Or the warlock, it becomes there's a couple of, I forget what they are now, but there's a couple of warlock options. So it depends which one she has more levels in, warlock or paladin, to be able to get the different spells or abilities like banishing smite and a couple of others, and how they're going to flavor it, like how Erica and Matt have decided that they want to flavor this, because this campaign 3 is all about reskinning class abilities. It's like that fine line between homebrew and just reflavoring.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fascinating stuff, man. So it's good shit.
It's good shit.
I don't know what to say about it. There's I'm sad we have to wait 2 weeks for this, because it's gonna be a fucking fun little thing to watch them deal with.
It's a hell of a hanger.
Yep, that's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't got much else to say after that, man. That's the last thing I got to say.
Yeah. I've got one tiny thing, like with the race. Like a lot of times when you see the new fights, like I'm just going to go ahead and use the entire second campaign and the first campaign as a reference. They get into a fight. And all
the one-shots. And all the... What?
Yeah, just all the shit, Yep. And like as a reference, they get into a fight, and like let's say in reference or relative to their current state in this campaign, they find they fight this new enemy that has 2 things next to it, and then like they do like, and you take 32 points of force damage. And it's like 32, like everybody flips out like, fuck, this could be super dangerous.
Yep.
That seems to happen every single time they have a fight, where it's like this could be bad.
Yep.
I kind of feel like I kind of wish, I guess, at this point that the race was more approached that way, because the race seemed a little bit too easy.
It a little.
It was just a little Nintendo game right there, and then they got back to the RP.
As a, and I've said this before, as a sort of a new DM to this game, I'm really struggling to figure that out too. I don't know how it works, so I'm trusting the challenge rating, the CRs. I don't know. I really don't know how it works, and I have 5 players at my game, and I don't know how to throw. I'm still trying to figure out the whole. Should I just use? Because you read online, it's like, no, if there's like this many, you need to give the either make them more powerful or throw more enemies at them. And like double, like, so if there's supposed to be, the encounter is like
different phases, perhaps.
Or right, if the encounter says 4 goblins, and it's 6 players, you need to add 3 more goblins. There should always be 1 more goblin than there are players, or whatever whatever the case may be,
etc. Yeah.
So they can put up a challenge, because the game is heavily weighted in the characters in the PC's favor. So and I'm still trying to figure that out too. So I don't know if Matt's kind of been like, he's still going the same way that he always has, and his players have become much more savvy. I think we've talked about this before, and we've said that them becoming much better players has really presented another challenge for Matt, because his usual tactics aren't working. They're learning.
I think this is where
they're becoming sentient.
I think this is where video games, being somebody who's played a ton of video games, comes into play. And Matthew is one of those people. I imagine every game he's ever voiced in, I'm sure he's played, just to be like, hey, that's me. Especially in the early days. And but I'm sure they've all played a ton of video games. That's who they are. But like these days, they probably don't have as much time as they used to. But video games, man, when you go into like big old fights, like they always do something. Like especially later on in fights, it's not just like this person with a shit ton of hit points, because that's not interesting. Yeah, they say like, oh, at this point, and then Archon comes in. It's like, oh fuck, and he's helping you out. And at this point, an airship comes in, and fucking blasts Thordak with the fucking. Right, ballista, whatever, Right. Like that's how you keep it interesting. But those are both buffs. But to do like layer actions is one, and
yeah. Well, he gave the
but to be creative about it is hard to do. I think
Karana. What are they called? The Kagaronk. The Kagaronk had legendary actions. Right? It's like cool, legendary action, awesome. Like, fuck him up. And it did. It knocked Laudna unconscious. Yeah. And then Matt was like, I'm not going to... there's no point in rehashing all this. We already talked about this. I don't want to get into it anymore. It's all... And
then Dusk helped her out. Okay.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the one... Lay on hands for 1 hit point.
Yep.
Should have realized something was up there, guys.
I feel like you're trolling people right now, because fucking Vax did that all the time.
That's true.
Except for his sister and Keyleth. He'd go like 5 for them, 1 for anybody else.
That's true. Good point.
And he was all about his, people.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right. I played a paladin for a while. I remember just dumping all my pool. I'm like, I'm a lawful stupid character. I just give everybody.
You read a book, you change your alignment. Lawful decent, lawful academic.
Hey, listen, man, I don't got much more to say about this, and I'm tired, and there's a dead dog beside me who probably needs a pee.
Dead dog with a full bladder. Jeez.
Yep.
Just go out there and squeeze it out. Yeah. I guess, not a whole lot to say. Next episode, though, that's going to be in a couple of weeks, yeah?
2 weeks. Yep. August 5th. They're back.
Yeah,
I believe. Let me check my trusty calendar here. August 5th. They are back. August 4th, technically, but that's August 5th for us.
That's pretty good timing for me, actually. Like if we don't, because there's going to be a 4-sided dive, right? There's something like that going on.
The 4-sided dive will be the second Tuesday. So the 4-sided dive will be the
this
6,
Friday.
7, 8, 9. Comic-Con.
So they have a live thing that they're going to put out at some point.
They're going to put out the panel, the VOD on YouTube on Friday from the San Diego Comic-Con. I'm excited about that. That'll be a good one. But it'll be nice to see them in front of a live audience because they're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Listen, my hot take prediction on this is going to be all evergreen questions.
Well, yeah. I mean, the questions that come up at live things, it's not really about the question. It's about, I'm at a mic and I'm talking to them and I have a question. You know, it's like they don't really care about the answer typically.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion, I guess.
That's right.
I would do the same. I would just like get in line and be like, fuck, I'm up next. To be like, this one's for Taliesin. Like,
you're awesome.
Come up with some bullshit. Yeah.
Remember that time when you did that thing? That was awesome.
It was awesome. It's like, all right, do you have a question? Nah. All right. No, man. See you later.
You want to smoke a joint with me later?
That's a fine question. I would love to hear what his answer would be.
Yeah, it'd be. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's wrap it up then, eh?
Word.
If we're full of shit, which we probably, there's tons of stuff that nobody knows anything at this point. Just get in touch down there. The comments and on YouTube are the best way to get us to really respond. Because we actually get notifications about that. This Discord thing, we're gonna keep it there, but
nobody uses Discord over here. Nobody uses Discord.
Yeah, so that's more of a West world thing, not the show. The world, the hemisphere.
There's a Western Hemisphere.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Get in touch. Comments right down there.
North, south, east, west. So there's 4 hemispheres.
Well, yeah, but when you turn it this way, you can hardly see it because it's flat, though.
Right, and it doesn't make a shadow. It does make a shadow.
Yep. The sun makes a cone of light, not a beam. Just remember, the facts. Okay, Ben?
Facts.
Yeah.
Right. Facts matter.
Well, hey, if there's nothing else. Oh, I got a little bit to promote. We booked a show in October, so there will be more about that in the future, but up here at a wine festival. Okay. I don't have my bag here, but last time we played there was...
You guys in your wine festivals.
Yeah, we played the one last year, and it was fucking great. They treated the bands really well, excellent response, and just tons of folks out there. Like, we're hoping for more, but more to come on that as things develop.
I got nothing. Summer. It's summertime. We just sweat a lot down here in the south.
Yeah, it's a pastime, All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then hey, don't forget to love y'all chuthers. And is it finally this Friday or maybe next Friday or whatever comes up next? I mean, this Friday's coming up. Is it finally Friday? Peace.